Sorry.
All right. All right, this is Christina here with Rock On Quest Magazine, and we are here once again with our friends over at Jumpsuit Apparatus. How you guys been doing since, gosh, it's been a while since we've actually spoken.
It has been a while.
And a lot's gone on since then.
Yeah.
A lot of things have gone on. But what I want to tell you guys is that I was really looking forward to the release before it came out. Very impressed. Very happy with it, as was our reviewer, who absolutely loved it.
Sweet.
But a little different than the last one.
Yeah.
But for us, in a very good way. I mean, we love the old stuff and we love the new, so now we kind of have the best of both worlds.
Sweet.
So why don't you guys tell me a little bit about what's been going on since the release, because you guys have had a tremendous amount of activity going on lately.
Yeah, you can say that. Well, John?
We've done all kinds of stuff, all kinds of touring. We actually did an awesome world tour a couple months ago,
Really?
which is really cool. We went to the Philippines, Singapore, we did Soundwave in Australia with bands like Nine Inch Nails.
Wasn't that your first time at Soundwave?
Yeah.
So you had tried to go before, right?
Yep.
And then it kind of fell through?
We tried to go. It was a long story, but you know, we promised that we would go back first. And our album came out in February, and in February we were in Australia. So I mean, that was part of the whole reason why we weren't in the U.S. when our album came out, because we really wanted to, you know, to hold up with our promise. So the very first tour we did, other than Japan, promoting the album, was Australia.
Well, you know, I know that when you guys couldn't go that one year, the fans were just devastated, so I'm sure they were thrilled to have you guys out there.
I think so. We did a couple of side shows as well,
Right.
and we headlined all of those, and it was really fun. We got to hang out with Jack's Mannequin and Bayside,
Very cool.
which are two of our favorite, like, not only bands, but, you know, people to hang out with.
Right.
Both of
It's
the bands
always
are
nice,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, you always hope that you go out and tour with your friends, but that doesn't always happen, so it's, you know, it's cool when you get to do that. But now, Soundwave, was that quite an experience for you? Because I've never had the pleasure of going, but, you know, it seems like one of the best festivals to actually go to, let alone play.
It's pretty wild. I don't know.
The fans seem to receive you guys as well as they had seemed like they were looking forward to it.
I think so. I mean, we had pretty huge crowds. I don't know. Joey, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, it's rad. I think too, just the vibe's good. Like Warped Tour, I mean, it's just been around for a while, and everybody knows what it's like. But to have that kind of group of people, kind of like a Warped Tour overseas, I think everybody's just a little more excited about being somewhere new and different.
Yes, that's
It definitely shows through. It's pretty interesting.
Well, it's like that kind of, you know, anywhere other than the U.S. though, really, don't you think? I mean, they don't have, I guess now they're getting more and more acts that are, you know, a little more wide range, but they really hunger for U.S. music anywhere overseas.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I don't know. Americans are cool, man.
Oh, well, we love Americans.
We know how to do it. We know how to make the rock and roll, you know.
No, of course, of course. Well, speaking of rock and roll, what was it that kind of drove you guys to get a little more, I don't know, rock flavor in this record that came out? Because, you know, for me, I'm older than you guys, and I grew up in the 80s rock era. That was my time. So, you know, that's kind of always where my heart is, and I like it when the bands can, you know, kind of infuse that into the alternative and modern sounds today. So what kind of drove you to that? Is that where your heart kind of is, back there somewhere? Your influences?
I guess some of it, huh?
Some, yeah.
I guess it all does boil down back to that, whether you realize it or not. You know?
Right.
The bands you like those bands, you know?
Right.
I think you have to know where you came from when it comes to rock and roll.
Right.
All of us have been kind of like, you know, going back and listening to the Beatles and Boston and, you know, Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. So I think, you know, we're just really into
They're the
finding out
classics.
where our style of music came from.
Right.
I don't know. I think there was one particular track on the album where we portrayed quite a bit of that, but I also think that, in my opinion, on the new album, we did exactly what we did last time, which every song's different.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, with that being said, like, it really depends on the track. I mean, if you're talking about No Spell, it's not anything like what we just discussed.
Right,
If you're talking about Godspeed, if you're talking about Believe, if you're talking about Step Right Up, I've already named 5, I can go on, you know.
Yeah.
Basically, there's only one other track that has the mainstream alternative feel, which is Pull Me Back. So there's 2 tracks on an album of 11 that are pretty alternative. And then other than that, there's a couple of ballads, there's a couple of pop rock songs, and there's a couple of heavier songs. So I don't know. For me personally, it's exactly the same. I don't see any difference at all. I've definitely heard quite a few people not agree with that, but also most of the people who don't agree with that, not all of them, but I would say 7 out of 10 were never fans to begin with.
Yeah.
And they don't even really know any of our songs other than one that everybody knows. So it's not even really a choice, I guess, at this point to know it. Because it was just that kind of song where everybody knows it and you couldn't get away from it. So,
right, of course.
I mean, you don't have to be a Fall Out Boy fan to know Sugar We're Going Down. You know what I'm saying? So it's that type of scenario.
Right.
We have that one song that everybody knows, and that's it. And even the people who know it don't necessarily know what it's about or what it means or anything about it. So
right.
I don't consider them a fan. Just because you were walking through a Walmart and you heard Face Down,
doesn't mean
and you
you
thought to yourself,
right?
yeah, this band's cool, doesn't mean you were a fan.
Right.
It's just you liked it because everybody else liked it first, which is why it was being played. So with all that being said, for me, it's the same thing. I don't see a difference. It's the same people making the same music.
I look at things a lot differently than a lot of, I don't know, critics, or lack of a better word. I don't even like to consider that what we do, reviews, whatever. I just like to give an honest opinion about the music that we hear. And we listen to everything thoroughly, whether we're a fan or not. So I ended up becoming a fan of a lot of bands that way. And, the one thing that I really, I don't know, for me, it's kind of something that hits a nerve with me, is people who do just what you said, who don't even really know your music from past or present, really. A lot of times when people interview you or do reviews, they don't really even listen that much.
Yep.
So for them to cast an opinion when they don't really know what they're talking about, that kind of frustrates me. So, if I don't know a band that well and I'm asked to review it, I'm going to listen to that record a lot.
Yeah.
And all their past work. And I kind of think that's what you guys deserve,
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, I think I'm a pretty big fan of the statement that if you listen to a band long enough, you can find something you like. And whether it's the drum track, or the guitar track, or the vocals, or the lyrics, I mean, if you hate on a band long enough, you'll find plenty of things to hate. But if you listen and you try to just listen to what they created and vibe on whatever level they're vibing on, you will find something that you like, unless you're just in a negative mood. And if you like, whatever.
You and I think very much alike, because I think that way about music in general. When we do, I think it's kind of why I started doing what I do, because I really don't like people criticizing other people's art or their work for the sake of criticizing it. And I kind of think music in general, because we cover all rock, every genre of rock. And I'm not a fan of every genre of rock, but I still find redeeming qualities in what people are doing as an artist. So, and the same thing with fans. I'm sure all the artists get that with fans. Well, this is so different, or, do they really know how different it is? Do they really listen to it? Were they your true fans and that kind of thing? So I look forward to when artists expand and branch out, make little changes here and there and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of, what you guys should do. You grow as you go along, right?
Well, good, because there's going to be a lot more of that happening.
Well, we're going to talk about that, aren't we?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. What are you guys planning on now? Because the record's been out for a while. You guys have done different tours that we talked about. You also went out with one of my favorites, Monty R.I.
Yep.
Good guys. I love
September 22nd.
Their record.
I didn't see that. I know their album. You don't see that on a little note sheet.
Exactly. I've already listened to it, and I think it's wonderful. I
love it too.
Waiting for years for this. So
it's actually the third time we brought them out on tour.
Oh, really?
They've always been good friends of ours over the years. They were one of the first bands that ever toured with us when we were in a van and they were in a van, and we both literally had just been signed, both of us, in within a 6-month time frame, and then we were stuck out there together. So there was a lot of growing and learning about being in a band together with their band and our band, and we respect them, and I hope that everybody buys their album on September 22nd. I'm
really doing what I can to try and promote that, because I think that, they almost were just too much overlooked for my taste, because it's been a little time since the last release, and so many bands come out every year. And I just thought they were phenomenal when I first started them, and I've seen their band back in those days. It was pretty horrendous with 16 people in it. So great guys,
I'm surprised it wasn't on our tour.
Yeah,
We're one of the 3 times they toured with us.
I've seen you guys more than once, definitely, but it wasn't with them. But yeah.
We frequent each other's routing schedule.
Well, that's good. It's good to have good friends like that. Now, so what are you doing now? You're going to start writing? You have started writing already? And how different, you said it's going to be more of that, growing and changing. Why don't you tell me about that?
Anyway. Matt, I don't know. What do you think about new music?
I think that it is a pretty awesome collective thing. Just a bunch of songs, and each one of us are making up songs, and every one that I've heard so far has been awesome, and I think they all fit together real good. I think there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. I think. Anyway.
Well, I'm going to ask you this question. I don't know if you guys will have an answer, but do you have a time frame for this next release that you're working on yet? Is it still too much of a work in progress to share that?
That's funny. I was literally just talking to my manager about this about 17 seconds ago.
Really?
Out there in the grass. I don't know. It's one of those things where, in a perfect world, if a band could do whatever they wanted, we would just release music now, today.
Right.
We'd just record those 7 songs in our studio, which we could do. Record them with all the stuff that we have and make them sound awesome and release them tomorrow or even next week, and not charge money for them. That would be what we would do if we could, if we made the rules. Seeing how we don't. We're forced to do what everybody else does, and we're put into a category like everybody else. So we have to convince our label to open up a budget to let us record a new album. Do we have songs already? We have more songs ready if you count older songs that we haven't even recorded yet from the history of our career, from when me and him started. We have enough material right now to make 2 full albums, without a doubt. And have always had that much, which is why we were so frustrated. Lonely Road should have came out at least a year, almost a year and a half before it did, and the songs were ready. Some of the structuring wasn't ready, but that's what a producer is for.
Right.
But that's when it should have came out. So again, it's one of those things where I don't want to say our hands are tied, but it's more like our hands are chopped off and they don't even exist.
Right.
We don't even have an option
I got you.
to make the choice. So with that being said, as soon as we're physically allowed, we'll be recording the songs. A lot of the music is done, which is the hardest part, is getting the music to where everybody in the band is happy with it and satisfied with it, together as a collective unit as opposed to one person or 2 people. So we're more than, I would say, if we count, like I said, if we count some older songs that we're talking about playing around with, I would say we're more than 90% done with the music.
Right.
If you're talking about all completely brand new tracks that have never been heard for in the existence of man, we're still about 75% done with the music.
Right.
So we're looking pretty good.
Sounds like
we'll be ready way before our label will be ready.
Sure.
So as soon as they'll say, yeah, Red Jumpsuit, go ahead and record, we will. And hopefully that'll be, I mean, if it's up to me, again, in a perfect world, I'd like to be in the studio by November.
Right.
But I can guarantee that'll never happen.
Sure.
I highly doubt it. I'll be shocked. You can email me this interview. You can email me this interview and throw it on my face.
Prove me wrong.
And I will gladly say, you're right, and I'll still be stoked because I'll be in the studio with my friends making music, so it won't be a negative scenario.
Sure.
But realistically, I don't know, probably next year. Hopefully in the earlier part of the year, but most likely mid-summer to late summer to next winter, which is so long away. We'll probably have a whole different album already ready by then.
Of course.
So you lose, I don't know, you lose the relevance of like where you're at in the world and like how you feel about songs at the moment.
That's what I was just
so
going to say.
it's just kind of unfortunate to me. I wish they could keep up. Not even with just us, with any band. If you're cranking out songs, why can't you crank out records? Why can't you put one out a year? Why not? Why is there a rule against that? Real, solid, stoked fans who are a fan of one band will buy an album a year, and everybody else
That's
won't.
what I was going to just
who cares?
say. Let me just say, on the record, because they're good to me, I love Virgin, EMI, I love, they're good to me as a journalist, okay? But I also do know that it is hard for you guys because you do want to put out your music a little more often, and that's kind of the pitfall when you have a major that you're working with and there's so many other artists on the label.
Yeah.
And it's all about timing, and there's so much goes into it that obviously you guys know.
Well, it's not a Virgin thing for me. It's a major label.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You pick any band
That's what
on
I'm
a major.
saying. Yeah.
Pick any band on a major. They're not popping out a CD a year, and if they are,
absolutely.
Then good for them. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I
Who
don't
are
see
you?
that
Tell me
happening.
who you
Yeah,
are.
exactly.
I don't know who you are.
It doesn't
I've
happen.
never heard of you, but I guess you're bigger than I imagine.
Right.
I don't know who you are.
Well, what about, and I don't know, I know that a lot of indie labels do this sometimes, but they'll throw out an EP as a teaser ahead of time, just if you guys have songs finished as Virgin. Now, I don't know that they do that, but
I've never heard
to
of
kind
that.
of keep the fans a little bit, on board and excited about what's coming up, I just got one mail the other day, Lita Ford, back in the 80s. Yeah, she put out a new record, so, that's something that I always wonder why the majors don't always do.
Yeah, let's put an EP out, whatever, cool. Yeah, put us in the studio. If that was the case, it'd already be done.
Wish I had my own label, because that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Seriously. I would.
And that's why inevitably most musicians, they usually wind up starting their own label. Why? Not because they care about starting a business. They'd rather make music, but they do it because they can have the freedom to really do what they want and not have all this, an entire board of people who don't even live in this country making the decisions for them. So, it's kind of complicated.
very complicated. You know, I give you guys a lot of credit for having the patience that you guys have as musicians, because I know that it would drive me crazy. But I appreciate that you guys stick with it, because it's a harder job than anyone imagines, by far.
It's a sweet job, but it's not an easy job.
It's not. It's definitely not. Well, so now you guys have a hometown show that's coming up, or did you just play it?
We just played one.
Just played one.
Yeah, I actually went to that school, University of North Florida. Yeah, I went there. I played tuba and orchestra there.
That's awesome.
And but whatever, regardless of that, it was fun because we're all from there. Even Matt. Matt played with us a long time ago. He's our newest addition, but he actually played with us years ago before we were signed. So it was kind of cool to have him back in the band. And we only had to teach him basically a couple of new songs that we had just recently recorded on Lonely Road, and most of the old songs he knew. So
that made it easy, I bet. A little easier transition.
Definitely easier than somebody you've never played with and you don't know or don't even know you can get along with.
Yeah, that's always the hardest part when you're looking to kind of fill a void that you have this relationship with someone for a while, and then you have that space that, like you said, it's like this whole process of finding someone that not only musically you're compatible with, personalities, just being on the road all the time. So it's cool that you had somebody that you already felt that with.
I think that we were lucky. We seem to get lucky a lot though, so I don't guess it, but I don't know, we're writing the music, that's what we're doing. We're doing a couple of shows. We got another show tomorrow in Pensacola. We got another show or two throughout the year. We're talking about doing a couple little secret things here and there in places that we know that we have a lot of solid alliance members and stuff like that, and just a couple little guest things here and there, and hopefully, God willing, we'll be in the studio by the end of the year or early next year. If not, we were talking about doing Warped Tour next year.
Oh gosh, that would be so much fun.
It's been a while since we've done it now. We did it 3 years in a row, and we decided to take a year or two off. And then also, one of the summers wasn't up to us. We were making Lonely Road. So we couldn't do it that year. And then this year was the only other summer other than that year that we didn't do it. And, we just didn't do it.
It would be a great lead-in to the new release,
Or not. Or maybe it'll just be a good summer. I don't know.
It's always a fun tour. I mean, I've never played it myself, obviously. I cover it every time, and it just seems like the artists have a lot of fun on that tour. And even though it's grueling, it's several weeks of
it's a party.
heat. But it's a fun time.
Hopefully we do that. Hopefully we do Warped. But if we don't, either way, it doesn't matter. If we don't, probably the only reason why we won't, we'll be back in the studio. Hopefully.
So good news either way, right?
Yeah.
For your fans.
Basically,
And they matter more than anything else, right?
Definitely.
All right, so I don't know if you both remember, but we always finish out. Number one, you can say anything you'd like to your fans if you have something you want to share that we haven't covered. So if you don't, then you can finish by asking me anything at all that you want. That's what we do.
I feel like I've been talking a lot, so somebody else jump in.
They were kind of giving you looks. I didn't want to tell you, but no, I'm kidding. I'm really kidding.
I didn't see him.
I can't see any of you guys. What's going on?
Any questions?
No. Anything we need to talk about?
Any secrets?
Deep dark secrets.
Yeah, exactly. Stories from the
I had a secret, but it's not really a secret. I really like the new NoFX album.
How do I like it? Is that
He likes it.
Oh, you really like it.
It's not really a secret, though.
That's not a secret.
It's more like a statement.
Yeah, that is a statement.
What else?
But it's important to state how you feel, though, about new music.
Well, I keep listening to it, so I feel like I should tell somebody.
Well, that's good. I like that. I do that, too. I can't shut up about music half the time, so...
Well, I know how you feel. Anybody, come on. I can't do all the talking.
Secret.
Agent man.
I got Dr. Scholl's gel soles in these boots.
How are they working? Because to me, boots seem like a little uncomfortable.
They are incredible.
Are they?
Yeah, I feel like I'm standing on soft soil. And
That's pretty awesome. I think we all have, for me, I beat these shoes to death. They're Vans. I wear them to every show because they're the most comfortable shoe in the world.
Show shoes.
And everyone keeps telling me I desperately need to get a new pair, and I don't even care.
Hey, man,
I'm afraid that they're not going to feel the same. I think I have to wear
They will
these.
not. Yeah, you have to.
I have to totally wear them. They've been 3 years running.
Wow, 3 years.
3 years surviving a lot of shows.
I've been through so many shoes in the last 3 years.
Well, you guys,
crappy shoes that literally I wear until
the seams are, pulling. I'm waiting for that to happen here. In fact, there might be one spot that's.
Maybe you could be a Vans spokesperson.
yeah.
I swear.
3 years, 300 shows.
Raise your feet in their pants.
Exactly.
Raise your
and you went back.
I got them before I
you
covered
wearing
my
yours?
first work
I'm
tour.
not wearing mine.
Oh, man.
Wow. Wow.
All right, so if that's all your secrets, do you guys have any question for me?
Who's your favorite person you've interviewed? Or like you were like,
I mean, aside from you guys, right?
I can't believe it. This is happening.
Oh, wow.
Billy Idol.
I've had a couple, well, I have one that I did recently, and one I'm going to do, but Dee Snider from Twisted Sisters.
Wow. Strangeland, make sure you talk about that.
We did extensively. I'm a huge fan of that.
Such a badass movie. Yeah.
He was one of the nicest people. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never met him. So funny. Such a funny guy, intelligent. We could talk about music and horror movies all day. It was a great interview. Loved it.
Very cool dude.
He was a very cool dude. And then I'm going to be interviewing Ace Frehley coming up from Kiss and Lita Ford. So yeah, I got some good interviews.
How's the EP? Do you like it?
The EP is fantastic. It's like she never stopped recording. It's amazing, and she's just got so much personality.
Right on.
And Ace has his solos coming out, so.
What about, have you ever done The Used?
Oh gosh, yeah, definitely.
Low key.
Love the Used.
They got a new album out this week.
Yes, I
I
know.
don't have it yet, but
I love.
I'm
the
getting
Used.
it. The only
We're
reason why I
gonna
don't
be.
have it is because I didn't steal it. I'm actually going to go freaking buy it. So. The
Yeah.
only reason why I don't have it.
So who else? Are you looking forward to 30's record coming out?
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah.
On the horizon.
I'm more excited about the new Used record, but I'm
Yeah.
definitely, and also, well, I don't know, I'm excited about it. It's 30 Seconds to Mars, which is awesome. The Used,
too.
No Effects. But
Yeah.
It's a good year for rock and roll.
It definitely
Brand new
is.
has a new one coming out too, right?
There's so many releases.
But I think
that
some of that's coming out next year, though, right? Is it Blink next
Probably,
year?
yeah.
Yeah, I think Blink's next year, and I think I heard 30 was next year, but I don't really know.
You know, it's always so hush hush at 30. You know, they've got so many things going on.
I did hear that they were already finished, though.
Yeah, well, that's
So-
what they say. But
I believe
Jared's a perfectionist. You
I
know how
believe-
he is. You know, he's going to tweak things for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
Lil Wayne's rock album comes out next month.
He's got a rock album
Yeah.
coming out?
He has a rock album coming out.
Oh
They've
my gosh.
been pushing it back months and months and
Is
months.
it gonna? I don't understand.
I've heard some songs. It's an actual rock band, like, you know,
Really?
live drums, guitars, and everything, and then him like doing his thing on the top.
Oh, wow, I'm going to pursue that one.
And he's gonna tour like with a rock band.
Wow. Now, are you guys familiar with Tommy Lee's other project, Methods of Mayhem, from a few years back? They're putting out a new record. So
Oh, really?
It's going to be really interesting. I'm
Oh,
probably going to
yeah,
be talking to Tommy about that one, so.
I am a fan of Tommy Lee, though. I think
So am I.
he's one of the rare ultimate badasses
Yeah.
in the industry.
Well, he's from where I grew up.
He
We grew
walks
up in the
the
same
walk.
town.
Yeah, I like
Dude,
Tommy. We saw him one time.
Chains.
Oh, another one I'm
Crying
looking
out
forward
loud.
to.
Yeah,
Alice in Chains. Too many releases. I get so many press releases in one day. I'm just like, that's why I haven't talked to you very often.
It's cool.
Too swamped. Well, thank you guys. You know, I'm probably going to run out of digital over here before we're done. So
That's cool.
I love talking to you guys. Please keep us posted on anything you want us to showcase, do for you, what have you. And I'm looking forward to the set tonight.
Awesome. Nice
Thank
to see
you.
you.